No wonder Miami is called Magic City, because definitely the city has done some magic on me. I can't seem to be leaving this city. I have been postponing my plan of leaving since about a week now.
Well, good to see you back.
Once again, I'm sitting with Dr. Doug, Director of Masters of Science in Business Analytics programs at Herbert Business School, University of Miami. Thank you so much, Dr. Doug, once again.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Of course. All right, so I have a few questions for you, which has come directly straight from the Indian students out there.
All right.
There are certain uncertainty about the program, the difference between business analytics and data analytics, and some obvious questions. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. First question for you, Dr. Doug, is from student Ravi from Hyderabad. He says, I come from a tech background. I am not sure I will be the right fit for business analytics program. Will I understand business side of things considering I've spent my 4 years of undergrad in just coding?
So, definitely great question from Ravi there. And I could talk about this one for a very long time. I'll try to keep it brief while covering all my grounds here. Just to directly answer your question, yes, you would fit in just fine. I think that analytics is, there's kind of 2 or 3 pillars. There's kind of the math and the statistics. There's the coding, so the programming component. And then there's, usually some application areas of some business skill. You might add in a 4th pillar that's, kind of communication and being able to present these complicated results to, non-technical people. So we get students from very different backgrounds. I think depending on where you come from, you're going to excel in that area, and then you can focus on struggling on the other side. So I think that if you, on the opposite side, if you come from a background where you've done no coding, you're gonna struggle more there. Because I don't think a day goes by in our MSBA where the students are not on the computer writing some code. Now, we're not computer scientists, so when I talk about programming, I don't consider myself to be a programmer. I'm more like a statistical programmer. Like I can code for data science. I can't sit down and program, like a computer scientist, but I know how to bring in a data set, look at it, manipulate it, visualize it, clean it, restructure it, fit some model. I can do those kind of things. So I think the scope of the programming that we do within analytics is a bit narrower than what you might potentially do in computer science. I think if you have that background, it's going to help you tremendously, because you won't be stuck when you start learning some of these things. When we're getting into R and whatever else, Python, SQL, whatever you go through, you'll probably take to that really naturally. It'll be a very smooth transition, and then you can focus on learning the other stuff. So you'll be able to focus on the models themselves, how they're implemented, how we interpret them, and you won't be stuck on error message. You'll overcome that faster than had you come from the opposite side where you had no background in programming.
All right, I have a second question from Pranay from Coimbatore. He's asking, I'm confused between choosing data analytics, data science, and business analytics. I have a 4-year degree in computer science. Can you guide me, please? Again, one of the most asked questions.
So, I don't know if I have the answer to this, but I have an answer. And this is probably, as you said, this is probably the most common type of question or concern that I do get from prospective students. From my point of view, and I think most of us in academia, I see almost no difference. I don't think that the academic community, I don't think that the industry and the job market, these terms are not perfectly defined. I think it depends on just when the program was launched. So if a program was launched earlier, data science wasn't really a buzzword at the time. If a program is being launched right now, they're going to go straight to data science because that is like the popular thing right now. I was actually showing Anand before our talk here some slides from a conference that I had gone to about a month ago, where they were talking about kind of the past and the future of analytics programs. And there's a trend right now where programs changing their name from analytics to data science simply because prospective students like the idea, they just like the term data science. From my point of view, there's almost no difference. All of those programs that are changing their name, their curriculum is still the same. So my advice to students, prospective students, you can't rely on the name itself. You have to look at the curriculum. You need to look at the coursework that you're going to go through, and that will give you a feel for what that program is really giving you. So if you're looking at, business analytics program, they're obviously going to be in a business school. You want to see, is the coursework more technical? Is it math, statistics, programming? Is it very far on the business side where it's, mostly business topics and then a little bit of technical? And you kind of want to see, what it is that you're getting into. Same with data science. You want to get into the curriculum. You want to see the specifics. What kind of languages are they using? What sort of, data, sort of modeling, data analysis type classes, machine learning, AI, which, kind of where are they going and what are you going to get exposed to? I don't think you can rely on just the name itself. We see the same thing on the other end when you graduate and hit the job market. You're going to see jobs that are data scientist, data analyst, business analyst. I had one alumni, his job title was business analytics analyst. That one is, if you really think about it, I'm not sure what that means. A lot of them are all doing the exact same thing. There is a trend right now for companies to just rebrand these job titles. We had an employer on campus last week interviewing some students for a position that has historically been called, it was either business analyst or data analyst, I forget. He said this year they just changed the title to data scientist. Same job, same skills, same degrees. But he said when they changed the title to data scientist, all of a sudden they got a tremendous influx of applications. So I think, as I'm saying right now, when you're looking at programs, you want to look into the curriculum and see what it's really the skills that you're learning, not the title. Same thing when you start applying to jobs. You want to look into the responsibilities and what your day-to-day is going to look like. Just because you're called a data scientist or you're called a business analyst, that doesn't mean you're going to be doing what you think you're going to be doing in those roles.
Kunal from Delhi is asking what kind of industries have job offerings for business analytics masters.
So this is, I said a minute ago, one of the most common questions I get is about, this idea between analytics and data science. That's actually number 2. This one is definitely number 1. And it's some variation of, what job can I get with this degree? What can I do? If I get this degree, what am I going to be able to do? The answer here is, for the most part, anything that you want to do. Now, obviously, you're not going to go be a lawyer or a medical doctor, but anything within industry. So, to me, one of the biggest advantages of analytics right now, and this is actually when I was in school, what I'm about to say, this is what attracted me to, at the time it was statistics. This is what drew me into this field. There's this core concept of knowing how to work with and make sense of data. And then depending on what your skills are, if you're more on the technical side, if you're just sort of understanding and interpreting, you can go and apply it anywhere you want. So the models, the programming, the sort of these applications are almost the same everywhere. It's just the data itself, what it represents, changes. So you can go work in healthcare and you're working with patient data. You can go work at, let's say a cruise line, and now you're dealing with passengers. You can go to some marketing company, you have customers. You can go to some insurance company, now you have policyholders. What your data represents changes, but what you're doing is actually about the same, or at least similar. So the skills are very portable across, honestly, all industries, all companies. We have companies that'll come in and hire, multiple students in the same year, and they'll take them into very different roles depending on what their strengths are. So if we have a student that is better computing, he might be, data science, data engineering. He might take a job where he's on the computer, most of the day. I've seen companies take students from the same class that were better on, maybe they had some work experience and some management experience. They take them into a business strategy role or an internal consulting role. So I think because data is everywhere, learning these skills puts you in a position to do, for the most part, anything that you want. I think that has been, I said when we talked yesterday, our placement record has really been incredible. I think it's because of this. People that can work with data are just needed everywhere, so you go do whatever you want. I really stand by this one, so if there's a prospective student out there that is considering applying and still doesn't believe me, reach out to me. We'll jump on Zoom. I'll share my screen and go through my LinkedIn, and I'll show you whatever industry you're interested in. I will find multiple alumni that are in that industry.
That's really nice. Thank you. And I think data is the king, right? And, as long as you are into it, you are gonna get a job. And I'm sure Miami is getting called as next Silicon Valley of the world. So all of the industries are here.
It is growing.
You're gonna get into I don't know, like tech industries or finance or aviation, but a lot of companies are here, a lot of opportunities are here for sure. Another student is asking, are there any part-time job opportunities on campus, especially with the teaching assistant role? So I think students are getting more and more aware about teaching assistant roles. They are concerned, or they want to plan better before even getting admitted to a university. So what's it look like at Herbert Business School?
So these roles do exist. There's not really a formal structure and a guarantee to get these things. They kind of just pop up like on an as-needed basis. Within my department, a lot of faculty will hire teaching assistants to help with things like grading, some of the undergraduate coursework, office hours, stuff like that. I've seen students find either teaching assistantships or research assistantships outside the department.
Right.
So occasionally another department will need basically like a data analyst to work on, they're doing some research project, they need somebody to clean and work with the data. So I've seen students find those. They kind of just, pop up. They'll show up in your email, so-and-so's looking for a TA, an RA, this set of skills, and then, you apply if you're interested.